Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Have a Nice Day podcast with your host, Janine.
And Joshua.
First of all, before we go into our video and audio segment, we're going to thank everyone for subscribing to our YouTube channel, for liking our videos, for sharing it to their friends. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified for any new episode that we put out.
Yes.
Was that good?
Support a brother and a sister out,
Yes.
you know?
Was that good?
It was really good.
Okay, and then we just talk about our emails later. All right.
Yeah.
Say it now.
I'll do it then.
Okay. Yeah, see? We don't practice, guys.
You don't practice. We
We
just
just
go like
wing
guns
it.
a-blazing and
We
it's just like,
wing
yeah,
it.
whatever goes, it goes, you know?
Yeah. And speaking of winging our relationship, we just wing it as well. That's the
But
topic for today.
That's the thing. So it's the much awaited episode.
It's
The
been a
final
while.
saga, the
Is it though? Do you
the
think
end
it
of
really
the trilogy.
is?
I think, yeah, at least as how we met and how we got to know each other.
True.
Yeah.
Cool.
So like the first part that we mentioned was how we actually met, which we did in episode,
19.
and then we did how things progressed after that, since we did match on Tinder, which you cannot watch on episode.
24.
And today's episode is how we met again for the
This
first
is part
time.
part 3 of the How We Met series. Well,
Yeah.
I think, yes. I think this will be the final one. Let's see how the story goes and if we're able to cover all bases of how we actually really met. Because we left it off, episode 24, we left it off at we matched.
We matched on Tinder,
And then our Tinder messages.
and then how we moved on to more formal mode of communication, which is WhatsApp.
But we didn't really talk about WhatsApp at all.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the gist of. We did bring up like the gist of it.
Do you wanna just read at least your opening liner on WhatsApp?
I remember
if you
my
still
opening
have
line.
it? Yeah.
I remember.
But before that, while you think about your opening liner, I just want to talk about the happy news of the week, which is our new segment, because we just want to make people happy, and what more to spread happiness and positivity by reading news that is positive, right?
Yes.
Now
No,
he's
because
busy
no,
trying to look
like
at his
no,
WhatsApp.
but we like 2020 and 2021 have most of the news that are memorable are all on the note of being negative.
Negativity,
Yeah, being negative and stuff. So we wanted to change that a little bit and promote positive news that has happened, because those things are usually overlooked, and we want to make sure that they have their
Spotlight.
their spotlight. Exactly.
Yeah, let's just talk about. We're not negating the negative things that are happening. It is there. It like everyone talks
Of course, you
about
cannot
it.
turn a blind eye to that, but
Yeah, but we also need to shed some light into the positive news, right?
exactly.
Because it's not all about negativity.
So true. So what is your good news for us,
The good
Khoury?
news is, and this is huge because
Wait. This just in. You have some good news from our reporter on site. Miss Khoury, what do you have for us today?
thank you so much, Mr. Dias. Wait, I need to wait.
And you didn't wait for the lag. There's a lag.
Oh, okay, again.
This just in. Breaking news from Hand Network. And we have our correspondent, Janine Khoury, on site in Dubai. Janine Khoury, what do you have for us today?
Yes. Good. Okay. Yes, Dias, this is huge. Landmark HIV vaccine passes phase 1 of human trial and proves successful in 97% of the participants. That's huge.
That's huge.
97% success rate with the participants that they've, I guess, used the HIV vaccine for. Until now, if people are not aware, there are no known cure for HIV. And so this is amazing, because there's 38 million people across the whole planet that is affected by the HIV virus. And if you get affected, unfortunately, there is no known cure currently for that. So having at least the phase 1 and having 97% success rate for that is huge.
It's a big milestone. We could have saved so many lives in the past, like like Freddie Mercury if this thing was there in the
Yeah.
past and stuff.
Exactly.
God rest his soul, though. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Really loved him.
And I think the way that they're doing it is because they've discovered a couple of people who have rare immune cells to the virus. So they're studying those cells
And they're trying to replicate it in some way. And
exactly to create them. And so this phase 1 of the clinical trial of the vaccine,
then,
they are using those rare immune cells of whoever they've discovered who is actually immune to the virus and jabbing them with a couple of patients who would like to participate in the clinical trial phase.
That's really
So
cool.
that's amazing. Yeah.
It's a big step.
It
is
is.
a very big step.
So hopefully this will really help them progress.
Yeah, I hope this propels the cure in some shape or form. And yeah, modern science and medicine has really taken a big leap since the dawn of time.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Huri, our correspondent. Now back to you, Joshua.
No, I'm supposed to say that. Now back to you, Joshua. That's a long lag, okay?
Sorry,
We're
the
just next to
internet
each
is
other.
down. No, but coming back to the episode, thank you, Huri, for that. You've really...
You started
I'm
off.
sure you made someone's day today with
Yeah,
that news.
I know. And we hope that we'll continue this segment because I think it really helps
I like it.
sprinkle some positivity.
I like it a lot.
By the way, you started the podcast with Khuri and now you're like, thank you, Khuri.
Huri, thank you so much for that beautiful and
I don't call you
insightful
Diaz.
news.
I call you
Nate
Diaz
Diaz.
because that's how you pronounce it. Okay, we talk about How We Met Part 3. People have been asking about this, so people left some comments on our video of the Part 2 of How We Met, and they're like, Part 3, please.
And you asked and we listened, and we're back with a part 3 of the How We Met series. So, where we left off was actually Janine and I talking on Tinder. Then I asked her for her number, and then she eventually gave it to me because of my charm. And we transitioned into WhatsApp after that. And I remember the first line I used on Khuri, it was, so I got her number either on WhatsApp, and my first line that I put on was, guess who, ? Hint, starts with J and ends with Oshwa. So it's like, a fun play on words. It's like I'm being a tease, but at the same time I'm being funny, and it's a smart opening line, I would say. And Janine caved, obviously.
And I got, like, he got me.
She got hooked, guys. I threw in the bait, and then she bit, and
Not
then
yet.
I reeled her in.
Not yet hooked. Okay, not yet.
Yeah, but you were. I'm sure you laughed at that
Yeah,
opening,
I did.
yeah.
Yeah, I laughed a bit.
Yeah. So after that,
After.
sorry guys.
Are you
I'm
nervous?
trying to recollect my memory of that because it seemed like really long ago, but at the
Ages
same
ago.
time, it's like just yesterday that happened.
Yeah.
But then again, so we started talking on WhatsApp. It was during lockdown still, if I'm not mistaken. No. Lockdown
Yeah.
was just easing up, or was it?
No, it was March.
No. I think
May. Sorry, May.
May.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was just to and fro talking. We started talking about especially our love for walking because of our reduced physical activity, especially not going to the gym and everything. We both actually, without even discussing it with each other, started walking around, just trying to get like at least 10,000 steps in a day.
This was when you were only allowed 2 hours outside of your house? Was that the rule?
No, not 2 hours, but there was a curfew that
Yeah.
lasted till 11, and that I remember that annoying. Beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep.
Was it 11 or 10? I can't remember. 11.
11.
Right,
It was
11,
11,
yeah. And past 11, like, you can't be outside, basically. So, and gyms were closed. And since we both were gymming as well, we just took to, right now I stopped gymming, but I'm going to get back. I promised myself. But yeah, we would just, did you just snort?
No, I snorted because I was flexing for the camera.
Fine. We were just walking outside, and that's how we built our WhatsApp relationship. Just sending, first it was just text messages, talking about our day, talking about how everything went, and then getting to know each other. We were sending questions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A question a day.
No, so what we were
Gosh,
doing
my
is playing
English.
21 questions. Okay.
To him, it was 21 questions. I didn't know that it was 21 questions.
No, I told you. Let's play 21 questions.
Was that how you started?
Yeah.
Because like you wanted to bring me out on a date by the last.
So that's the thing. So this is what happened. So we started talking, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Janine starts sending voice notes. And I get super anxious when someone sends me a voice note because that also implies that I have to reply back with a voice note.
It's because I was walking and I didn't want to keep typing. Like typing to me is like a waste of time. Just send a voice note.
And we were getting closer to each other, but at the same time, not that close to where we could actually call someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time we called each other, Janine called me. The first time that we actually spoke on the phone was on our first actual date.
Yeah, when
you called me,
supposed to go to. We were on our way to the date, right?
No.
Or
It was I
after?
was already in the parking lot, and they were just asking what's my ETA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly, we were on our way to meet each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back,
Because I knew that he was anxious. Like he doesn't like phone calls.
I hate phone calls
And he
more
gets
than anything.
anxious about it. So I never called him.
Yeah, guys. First of all, whoever listens and tries to call me, please don't. Just send me a WhatsApp or an SMS or something. I'm pretty sure you can convey your message
Such a
through that
millennial.
medium other than a phone call. Phone
Such
calls
a
are for like urgent purposes.
Or getting to know people.
No. Call me and I will never answer your phone call. And everyone who knows me, like well enough, knows that I will never answer a call if you call me on my mobile.
Fine.
And I will just make up an excuse. Sorry, I was doing something, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But yeah, going back, we were playing 21 Questions.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. I was making up faces.
I
And
caught you.
Me. He caught me.
Got you. Okay, so we're playing 21 Questions, and I was thinking in my mind, okay, this is going really slow because I used to ask Janine a question, and then from there I had like follow-up questions, and then we had the whole discussion that goes around it. So it wasn't like 21 questions that finished in like a few days. It was 21 questions that lasted like a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
More than a week.
Yeah, we would do a question or two a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know what? My 21st question would actually be me asking her out formally on a date, like our first date.
Him trying to be romantic.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like, so my 21st question is, would you go out with me? Okay, so, but what happened instead was Janine got impatient, as she usually does.
Excuse you.
And I remember I said something about, what did we say?
You said something about, I don't remember now, but all I remember replying saying, well, you need to take me out on a date first.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, because first of all, it was a pandemic. I wasn't sure if she actually wanted to go out on a date. So I didn't pop the question as soon as I should. Like, of course, like we did talk for like 2 to 3 weeks before we actually met.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a pandemic going on, so I don't know how comfortable she was with actually us going on a date. So what I did instead was, what she did instead was said that, what did you say?
I asked you out on a Zoom date.
Yeah, so Janine
Yeah.
asked me out on a Zoom date first, which I hated.
Because, wait, first of all, that was my initial dare from my friends, remember?
Yeah.
My only dare was make sure that you get a Zoom date before like the end of the month, something like that. So you're already speaking for like 3 weeks now, and I'm like, I have 1 week left. I need to get a Zoom date with this guy
Yeah.
because I hate losing. I wanted to make sure that I win the dare. So yeah, I asked him on a Zoom date.
I wanted to say no initially, but I'm like, I know girls have their guard up, their barriers up, and I think a way of easing that initial meeting in person would be for her to actually screen me through a Zoom call, which we did, which lasted like 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, it was a long video chat.
So what happened is we initially planned to meet on a Friday for our actual physical date, but she wanted to have the Zoom date on Thursday.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think it's Janine's way of asking, like trying to see, is this guy a serial
No,
killer?
wait, sorry. We first scheduled the Zoom date, and then you asked me out on a breakfast date after that. So you thought in your head, since we're gonna have the breakfast date, maybe she'll cancel the Zoom date. And I was like, no. We're still gonna have the Zoom date, bro. Because if this doesn't go well, I'm not gonna go to breakfast with you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah,
Because
I
you
forgot
thought
about
like
that.
the Zoom date would like just disappear because you asked me out physically.
Yeah. Then you were like, "Are we still on for a Zoom date?" And I'm like,
You're
"Oh
like,
crap,
oh
she
gosh, I thought
didn't."
it was still. So at that time,
Yeah.
you didn't have. You were using your sister's laptop.
Yeah, I
for
was.
some reason.
Yeah.
and you were in your room, and it was nice actually. It was nice. It was weird at first because I've never been on a Zoom date, and to me it was quite weird. But I guess it was tough times, you know.
It
You have
was,
to
yeah.
be, you have to be resourceful on
exactly.
how
You
you
have to
meet
adapt
people.
to the current situation.
Yeah. So we went on a Zoom date. We just talked about, I don't know, anything and everything under the sun.
Yeah, and before we knew it, it was like almost like 12 or 1 a.m. And we're like, you know what? We need to actually sleep because we are meeting in the morning.
And also, you didn't have your sister's laptop charger,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
about to die.
Yeah.
So you were like, "This my sister's laptop is about to die." So, and I guess it's almost 1 a.m. So let's sleep and see each other tomorrow. And I was just like, "Yeah, sure,"
Yeah.
because we were just like talking endlessly, like about everything, and I just remember laughing the whole time. It felt like I was watching a stand-up comedy show,
no,
but a
that's
private
That's
one.
the best compliment anyone can ever give.
Yeah.
Me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Means a lot to me. You never told me this before, but now I'm.
Yeah, he really made me laugh. I knew he was trying. You know, he was trying.
No, it comes out naturally, okay?
I know it does come out naturally, but you tried as well, okay?
Of course, I wanted to impress
I'm
you. I
sure
didn't want
were,
you to
like,
think I'm a
shaking
serial
underneath.
killer.
I'm sure you were shaking underneath. Like, you were so cool from your neck up, but everything underneath your
Oh
neck.
yeah, like super powers. Like my hands are sweating.
Yeah, he does have
My ass
sweaty
crack
palms.
is sweating.
He does have
Everything.
sweaty palms.
Yeah.
But it went well. And the next day, we went for our breakfast date.
Breakfast date at one of the most exquisite, expensive spots in the UAE. You know, I like to treat my women well. And of course, I give them the top tier restaurants such as Chili's, TGI Fridays, Nando's. But this time I thought, you know what? Let me take her somewhere special. Somewhere where every girl's dream is to have like a breakfast in this place. Yes, and that's right, guys. You guessed it. I like to spoil my woman, so I took her to Denny's. Denny's Dera City Center is where we met for the first time.
I'm
Where-
so spoiled.
She got her pancakes. She got her halal beef bacon.
Did I? Eggs. I got eggs.
And eggs and a hash brown.
No, you got the hash
I
brown.
got the hash brown. But you know,
That
it's
wasn't for me.
it's a quite an exotic breakfast, I would
Okay,
say.
let me explain why we were in DCC. It's also because it was the first few days of when they eased the lockdown, and the only few places that were open were actually places in the mall. So
Because I did try to call restaurants.
Yeah.
I tried to call restaurants. Are you guys open? And like, no, we're all closed. But I'm like, okay, I know malls are open. Let me check Denny's at their city center. And you're going to your parents' house after that anyway. So I'm like,
Yeah.
logistically, this might be the best
yeah,
place that we can meet.
It's the
So
closest.
Denny's, yeah. So
Yeah.
that worked in my favor.
so we were on our way. I told him it's gonna take me 20 minutes,
yeah.
and I got there. I gave him a call, and he tells me his mask snapped, and asking me if I have an extra mask with me. I'm like, what is happening?
And you know the scariest part was especially since the lockdown has just been lifted and things got relaxed, right? And I'm like, we don't know so much about this virus, so I know like we have to wear a mask, we have to wear gloves, and I had all these things, and suddenly when I was putting on the mask,
I'm sure
in the
you were,
car,
like, super nervous.
it snapped from the bottom, and I'm like, oh no, how do I even enter a mall to buy a mask?
Right.
Like, do I have to go back home? What do I have to do? So I got nervous. I'm like, oh no, I can't make this pretty girl wait for me. But I was just forceful. No, Janine called me and she's like, oh, don't worry, I have another mask. I brought an extra mask. I'm like, okay, cool. Then she's like, okay, I'll meet you in the parking. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then, but at the same time, I was MacGyvering this mask.
MacGyvering.
MacGyvering this mask.
MacGyver ka.
I was MacGyvering this mask. I was
MacGyver.
using my hands as my
Your
tools.
cowboy
Exactly.
tendencies.
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, wait, I can fashion a mask from this broken string, and I like,
He just retied the rubber part
nothing special, guys.
the
Any Tom,
elastic
Dick, and
part.
Harry can do this.
with the end of the mask, and that was it. So he said, no, I'm okay. So I got there ahead of him. Okay. And I gave him a call again, right?
Yeah.
And then you're
why
walking-
She calling so much?
You were walking towards me for some reason. Yeah, because I was standing
I
there.
parked in Virgin side.
And my eyesight is not the best, and I didn't have my glasses with me. So he was talking to me, and he's like, I think I see you. Because my hair was like longer and way more colored
Green and
than
teal.
this. And I said, okay, I couldn't see him at that time. And he was walking closer, and then I saw him. I was like, okay, guy with tattoos, right? And I was squinting my eyes. And so he came in. Then we walked into and had some pancakes
Yeah.
and ate. He went to pee twice. Seemed super nervous. But I was having so much fun.
I didn't go to pee twice. I went to wash my hands twice. And I know, guys, when you're on a first date, there's this time limit, okay, that happens when you disappear too long, where the other date party thinks, he's gone for so long. Is he taking a poop?
Right.
So I was really rushing. Like, I had to pee. Because now apparently you have to wash your hands for 30 seconds, which I used to do in like 5. So I have to like... And I know, and the toilet is really far. So I'm like, if Janine thinks that I'm gone for so long, she'd obviously suspect that I'm
Sus.
being sus and hiding in the toilet and pooping or something, which I didn't want to
probably
do.
pooping.
And I went twice, so it's like already a red flag. She's like, did this guy have something bad to eat? Did he have expired milk
And you
or
already
something?
told me that you have like, a bad tummy whenever you travel. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
he has sensitive stomach.
Yeah, and
so.
I'm lactose intolerant as well.
Right.
Yeah, so Janine was already like sus, like, is this guy going to poop like twice during our first date?
Yeah, but it went well.
It went really well.
It went well, and we had so much stories to tell each other. So I thought we were gonna go home, but then he asked, "Do you want to walk around the mall?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." We walked around the mall.
And Janine tried to hold my hand. I'm like, ew,
No,
pandemic.
excuse me. I never even tried to hold your hand.
We didn't
okay?
even hug. We just like
No.
elbow bumped. Like,
Yeah, pandemic. And for a couple of dates after that, we never really like held hands or hugged or physically approached each other.
until
It
the
was
time I
just
think I pushed you to the cockroach or something that was there.
cockroach or the beetle.
The beetle,
in
the
the
beetle,
park.
yeah.
Yeah. So the next few dates that we had were all walking dates.
Yeah, just around Zabil.
Yeah, we would go to a park. So for those who are not really in Dubai, we would go to a park, and we would just walk for like what, an hour?
An hour, get our steps in, be
Yeah.
be healthy, get our vitamin D, get
Yeah. So
some
after
fresh
work,
air.
we would go there, walk, and then just talk about everything and anything. And it was just nice because I really like people who I can connect with, and people who make me laugh, and people I can talk to for a number of hours. If I can't connect with someone and they can't make me laugh, and I can't connect with them on an intellectual level, then I won't even go on a second date with that person. But yeah, we went on a second, we went on a third, and I think it was the third or fourth date that I knew that I think he's the one, and because
gang, boy.
because so I was single for a long time before I met Joshua, probably 4 years, even more. And I started writing. So one of my church friends told me, before she met her husband, I used to write a whole list of the characteristics that I would like in my future husband. And I used to pray, and I would pray very hard about it. And one of my other church friends would always say, if you really want something, pray hard about it and pray specifically about it. Like, don't just say, I want a boyfriend, I want a husband. Say, like, God, these are the characteristics that I want in a man, and specify them as much as possible. So I wrote down a couple of bullet points, and that was someone who can make me laugh, someone who is a half and half, very specific, because I've always envisioned my kids to be a quarter something.
Yeah, we want a mini United Nations.
Yeah, I've always I really enjoy being a mixed kid, a mixed child, a mixed race kid. So I would always want that in my kid as well, to experience having different cultures that he or she can relate to. And when someone asks them, where are you from? They would always say oh, my dad is from this and this, and my mom
they're
is
like,
from this
you
and
got
this.
a minute because this will take long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to pass that along to my future kids, for them to feel like, what is it like being a mixed race kid?
Yeah.
So I said I would hope he's half and half, something that is not my own race, so that the kids could be a half whatever, and then a quarter Filipino, a quarter Lebanese.
Yeah.
So that was very specific. I said someone who believes in God. That was very, very important to me. Someone who has, strong faith. What else did I put? Someone who is very close to his family and understands my closeness to my family, because I've dated a couple of guys who didn't really understand how close I was to my family, and they thought that was like too much for them. So I wanted someone who would understand that. So Asian. I actually specifically said I hope he's not Filipino or he's not Lebanese, because I didn't want someone from my own race. But at least there's like a half in him.
Racist.
It's not that I'm racist. It's just that
Preferences.
exactly, preferences.
Everyone has preferences. Everyone has preferences.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
And that was my wish list. It
Yeah.
wasn't, it wasn't biased towards any characteristic of a Filipino man or a Lebanese man. I just wanted someone who was outside of my race. And then what else? Oh, someone specifically, I put in someone who's a mama's boy, because to me, someone who's a mama's boy in a nice way, because there are mama's boy who are like obsessed, A mama's
Mommy,
boy.
put me to sleep, Mom. Josh, you're 30 years old. I don't
Because
care.
I truly believe that when parents, or especially moms, raise their boys right, then that means these boys would have good respect towards women, because they have a close relationship with their mom, and they would know how to empathize and deal with a woman.
Yeah.
So I specifically said that. And someone who's funny. Did I say that already?
You have to say it twice.
Okay, so that's very important to me. Like someone who's funny. If saying it twice doesn't emphasize that fact.
It's like the first and the last point in this list
Oh,
of
and
yours.
someone who is at least stable in life. Because, I'm towards the age where I'm almost turning 30, and I wasn't really going back into the dating life and then going back to, I'm not too serious, or I'm serious, or I'm still getting into, I just wanted to settle. And for me, for a man to settle down, he needs to be stable. Doesn't have to be rich, guys, but just at least stable,
Yeah.
someone who would have
Not mentally stable, though, because...
financially stable. Yeah, that I didn't put that on my list. So I think God was like, okay, let me give you someone who's like
Who's depressed?
Yeah, so maybe moving forward to cut it short, and because I'm just conscious of time, to cut it short, that night he asked me if I wanted to. First of all, he got me sinigang, because that's my favorite food. So he got me sinigang that his mom cooked. And he put it in a Tupperware, and he's like, I know you might be hungry because, you live alone. I got you some food so you can bring it home and you can eat it. I'm like, look at this guy. He's so thoughtful. That's so sweet.
Guys, I'll tell you a secret in life. The quickest way to a girl's heart is through food. And I learned that.
Which is the other way around as well for men.
Which works for both, actually.
Yeah.
Food. Food is actually
life, right?
the food of the soul
Yeah.
is food.
So already he got me that, which is very, very sweet. And then we still had time. So the curfew ends at 11, starts at 11. And that was 9:45. Maybe we finished our walk around 9:30.
Yeah, around 9:30. This was on our date in Zabil. So
right.
yeah,
This
I bought
was
her
the third
sinigang.
or fourth date. I
She
can't
loved
remember.
it. Yeah, I think fourth.
Yes.
Third or fourth.
Yeah.
And then I invited her for, like, you know what? It's still a little bit early. You can have the sinigang for lunch tomorrow. Why not? Let's go out and have dinner in a restaurant or something.
Because we were still talking. We were still talking. We were hanging out by
Literally,
his car.
we finished our walk.
We finished our laps, and we were just like
Standing outside a car talking for
exactly.
20, 25 minutes. I'm like, you know what? Instead of standing here, let's go to a restaurant. Let's get some food. Let's get some food.
And he remembers that I like momos. I have a couple of friends, and we call ourselves the momos.
The Mo
because
gang.
We went to India and we ate momos. So anyway, momos aside, so he knows that I like momos, and we were around an area which had a very famous momos place close by. So momos is dumplings for the Desi version of
The Desi
dumplings.
version of dumplings, yeah.
So we went for momos, and again, another thing, like he remembered like these little details. I'm like, okay, I like that. I like that he remembers my stories. And he said, I remember you said you liked momos, so I'm gonna bring you to a momo place. We went there, we ate. He then drove me back to my car, and that was 10:45. He had 15 minutes to spare to
We
get
were
home.
like rushing.
Yeah.
We were rushing.
So we're like, let's go home. And then he left, but I was still in my car because I was actually messaging my two close friends.
So I'll tell you, Zabia Park has an access road that directly hits Garhood. And I hit Garhood already and I see Janine still parked in the car. I'm like, she's definitely chatting with someone. Because she had like the best date ever, I'm sure. And I'm like, but you have to move, girl. 'Cause it's 15 minutes
Girl, you have 15
until
minutes.
all radars flash if you pass it. And Janine was just still in her car. And I'm like, I took Salik, which I never do. I'm like, I need to take Salik. That's the only way I can get home in
Salik
15
or
minutes.
toll
At the toll gate, you have the
yeah.
UAE, which I did, yeah.
So when it was the lockdown and we had curfew, if you passed a radar, it would flash on you because they would take a picture of you and your plate number, and you can get fined because you're outside past
Curfew hours. Yeah.
So you really had to rush home. Anyway, I was still in my car, but I was messaging my friends, and then I realized, okay, it's too late. I just sent them a voice note. And so these were the two friends who initially, if you again watch or listen to episode number 19, I talk about my two friends who dared me to get back on the online dating apps and blah blah blah. So anyway, we had a group chat. And I messaged them and I told them, guys, I think I'm going to have a boyfriend soon. ... And I started sending them voice notes, and they started sending me voice notes saying, oh my gosh, like everyone was like screaming on the phone.
And I also think it comes from a place that you haven't had a boyfriend in so long. So everyone was like, wow, it must have taken a lot for a guy to like get past that stage with you and actually make you like him.
Yeah.
Because you have been on dates in those 4 years.
Have.
Not like you've never seen a man.
Yeah, I have. But it's always like after the third date, I would be like, no, I can't. I'm just like not into him. There's no connection. There are no sparks. I can't see this moving forward. And usually we just become friends. And I was sad for a moment. And I expressed that to my friends because I said, maybe I'm the problem. Yeah, he's saying I am.
You are the problem.
And I for the longest time, I thought I was being too picky. I was being too specific with what I wanted, and that I have to lower my standards. So any single women out there, or even single men listening to this, do not lower your standards at all, because someone is going to come into your life and you will just he or she will just like swoop you away. And God is just so good, because I specifically prayed for these bullet points, and this is, the funny guy, the half and half.
This is the output.
Mama's boy. Oh, I wanted to talk about the mama's boy. I forgot that detail. So we were driving to the Momos and we were talking about, and I asked him, like, it seems you're really close to your family and your siblings. And we started talking about his parents, and he said, like, yeah, like, I'm a mama's boy. And I was just
without even, I think, you asking if I was a mama's boy.
Yeah,
it
wasn't in the context. Yeah.
Two particular words just came out of my mouth, and you were like, huh.
And I'm like, what? What did you say? He's like, yeah, I'm a mama's boy. I'm very close to my mom. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I'm really close to my mom, where it's like, I call her bro as well.
Yeah.
So she's like a bro.
And so, I went back home and I started like praying, and I'm like, God, like, is this a sign? Like, he said he's a mama's boy. That's another bullet point ticked on the list.
Yeah. So, and here we are.
And tattoos as well. Of course, tattoos are in there. That's like a no-brainer.
Janine has the weirdest list. Like, if you show that list to anyone, they'll be like,
my friend,
okay, good luck. Where are you gonna find this mythical creature? Because this kind of person never exists.
My friends would always tease me. They're like, yeah, you want a bad-looking boy who goes to church. Okay, Janine. And who's like half and half, and who's funny, and who can meet you on an intellectual level. Yeah, Janine. Yeah, you're definitely gonna find someone who's like that.
I hope you find him with that mermaid you were looking for. And I'm like,
and yeah, I found him, and he comes from a Christian family. His parents are really active and serving in their local church. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I found him.
God,
I found him.
I found the unicorn.
I know. So yeah, don't lower your standards.
Don't give up, guys. I think that's what. That's the gist of the story, because everyone has a particular list and everyone has their whatever they want to check off the box when it comes to a partner. And I think if you just keep searching, if you just keep putting yourself out there, if you keep dating different people, seeing what you like, seeing what you don't like, you'll eventually stumble across that person who you can start a podcast with, or
exactly,
or do different stuff with. That person you've been looking for your entire time might eventually come and find you as well.
Right. And that's I
On a
guess
dating
that's,
app.
that's where it all started.
Yeah.
And it's been going great ever since.
Been going great.
Not. I was for
I
those who are
guess
listening
it's going
those who
great.
are
I
listening
don't know, dude.
on the podcast platforms, I was like signing no.
But can you imagine,
the
like,
video.
a people, like, we just swiped right on each other on Tinder, and here we are on our 34th episode of a podcast.
I know.
Here we've, like, done so much. Like, you've moved into a new apartment, you've got a new job. So, like, we've been basically, like, in a journey together since that
Since we met.
whole
Since we
Tinder
swiped.
shebang. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And maybe just to end the whole story, I guess we both knew that we really felt very strongly about one another when he messaged me saying that he wanted to take me out on a date. And I'm like, okay, where are we going? He said it's a surprise. And
I said, wear your best dress.
yeah, wear a nice
Deck
dress.
up, put on your makeup.
And then he told me I'm taking you out on, I think it was a Thursday night.
No, it
Friday
was a
night.
Friday night.
A Friday night, yeah. And so he told me the date, and that was a week prior. And we met our friends as well, and he took one of my friends aside and he started talking to her. I'm like, that's weird. But apparently he was asking her, like, do you think Janine would be the person who would be okay with this type of date? Blah, blah, blah. So she said, yeah, of course, if there's anyone, it would be Janine.
Yeah.
So I wasn't part of the conversation, so I'm like, something is fishy, something is sus. And so he picks me up from my house. I was wearing a black dress.
She was wearing a black dress,
And-
dark lipstick. I remember she got her hair straightened.
Yes, I did. And I never do anything with my hair except for like special occasions.
Yeah.
I have a straightener, a blow dryer, and a curling wand, and I have never used them. I probably once or twice in a year. That's it.
Yeah,
So
you told me
only-
that.
yeah.
When
I'm a wash and go type of guy.
yeah, you were just like, let it, the air dries it.
Exactly.
Driving the
I'm
windows
lucky.
down.
I'm lucky
Yeah.
to have this type of
Yeah.
hair. So he picks me up, and I asked him, where are we going? And he doesn't even show me the GPS, because then I would figure out where we're going. So
And I'm at this point as well. I'm also dressed up. Like I wore
Yeah.
long sleeves. I wore khakis. I just busted out the good formal attire that I've not worn in, I think, if like 9-10 months, because we've been
A
locked down.
while.
I've just been like free balling and like wearing shorts, chinelas, t-shirt and stuff. So I think it's the first time you actually saw me in formal clothes as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he looked really, really nice, very formal.
And I brought her a rose, guys.
and he got me flowers.
The works.
And so we were driving, and then we stopped by closer. I saw a McDonald's sign, and I asked him, are you going to bring me to McDonald's? And he started being very nervous. And I'm like, oh, he's really going to bring me to McDonald's. So he parks in front of this McDonald's chain in Al-Wasl Road. which
First of
is
all, amazing parking karma. I just parked directly outside.
right in front of
the
it.
door,
yeah. And I was wearing heels in a nice dress and all that. He's like, we're just going to take something from here. And I'm like, okay. And I said, do you want me to come down, or do you don't want me to come down? He's like, yeah, I want you to come down. I'm like, okay, fine. He grabbed something from the back side of the car. It was a paper bag, and it was filled with things. And I'm like, what is he doing? So he asks me to wait, like
Near the entrance
near the
door.
entrance.
Yeah.
So I was just standing there with my dress, and people were looking at me.
What is this girl on?
Yeah, why is she in McDonald's wearing
The
this?
gala is at the Dubai Opera. Not
It
at
wasn't
the
like a
McDonald's.
super ball gown, but it was like a dress. It was a nice dress.
Yeah,
and
like
I
she
was like,
stood out from the people wearing jean shorts.
and I have makeup
whatever.
on, and it was a fancy McDonald's, I would say.
It
was a nice
it's the nicest
McDonald's.
McDonald's I've seen, actually.
Yeah.
In the UAE.
So he was able to get a corner table somewhere, and he was setting up something, and he calls me. We order our food through the
Touchscreen.
touchscreen thingy, because now they're very high tech. And then we sit, like he leads me to the corner table, and I see this really nice setup of a table cover, candles, and like a wine glass and flowers. I can't remember now, but like there was this whole setup.
No, the centerpiece was just the candle.
I'll try to put a picture here somewhere so that you guys can see. I believe I have a picture of that. And then we ordered, and the waiters and waitresses were so
They were so kilig. Like,
so, yeah, they were so kilig. They were so
flushed.
flustered.
Yeah, because they saw us like when he came to put, because he gives us that number and we just put it on the table and the guy will come and serve it, and he comes in, he's like, what the hell are you guys doing? This is McDonald's.
No,
And like,
he was like very very positive
like,
about it. It's like,
and then he
"Oh
goes
my
back
gosh."
because I think he didn't give us enough napkins. So when I went back to the counter,
Yeah.
I saw him all talking like, "Hey, Sha. He's the guy who
He was telling the
who
other
designed
crew.
the table, and
He was
it
telling
was
the other crew
obviously
about the whole thing. And it was so sweet. Like, he borrowed a couple of like fake candles from his church.
these are offering candles, dude. This is for the prayer vigil that we have. And I got like wine glasses, which are actually glass. So I
Yeah.
can really take care of it. And we just poured punch
Guava
or something
juice, yeah.
into it.
Because they had
And we
guava
were just
juice.
like drinking. Cheers, my lady.
Yeah, but I think the sweetest part on top of all of this was that going back through our messages on WhatsApp, I told him something about, well, you better date me up then. And then he said, yeah, I'll take you to a nice romantic dinner.
Candlelit dinner at McDonald's.
No, not yet. Candlelit dinners, ... And I was like, where? At Burj Khalifa? And he says, yeah, more like McDonald's. And I was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, sure. If it's gonna be special in McDonald's, why not?
Yeah.
And
I'm a man of my word, and I stuck to it. And I thought it'll be like, this will be a great way to like look back at our chat messages and see like, Josh actually said this, and I thought it was a joke, but he's actually a man of his word, and he went through with this whole jingalala.
So he sat there and he said, do you remember I told you I was gonna bring you to a candlelit dinner in McDonald's? So here we are. And I was like, look at this guy.
And people were staring, and people were like, what is this guy on? And there's also the tablecloth over it.
It was
so,
his mom's scarf, by the way.
And we spilled
Sorry,
juice and
tita.
ketchup on it.
So it was very, very, very sweet. And I liked what we ate. We ate a lot of fries.
Yeah,
We
you
ate
had a quarter
burger.
pounder.
Yeah, I had a quarter pounder and nuggets, I think.
Yeah, and we just had an awesome
I had
discussion.
a chocolate sundae. We were there for again hours, like talking about like really deep stuff some things that I've never even shared to other people.
And the funniest thing is that even if we talk every day, there's still something new that we learn about each other all the time, which I really thoroughly love.
Yeah,
as well.
And that's when I knew this guy is very important to me. That was the night we said I love yous to each other, right?
No, I never said that. Whatever. Guys, man. That's the time I went and bench pressed my body weight or something.
Really?
Men. Because I'm a man.
You said I love you first, by the way.
No,
If
guys.
that's the question,
guys,
he said I love you
Come
first.
on, guys.
Yeah.
I was just like, my testosterone is too high. I need to hit up the gym. And I just went
That
to the
was
gym after that. or
July,
something.
right? So we started, like, we matched May. Yeah, we matched May, and then 2 months later, you told me I love you.
I said I love you, and Janine's like, thank you.
I'm like, thanks?
Janine was like,
No, I started crying, actually.
loser.
You want to talk about crying now?
No, okay, so guys.
So yeah, that's it. So that's when we said I love yous to each other.
Yeah.
We became official, but we never said I love you to each other.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
like
June when we
took
became
that we took
official.
that American approach where like we defined a relationship. Like, have you guys said I love you to each other? We're like, no.
Not really.
Nah.
Yeah. So yeah, and ever since then, things have been going really well. We have
Really
our ups
well.
and downs, but not a lot of downs, thank God.
More ups,
And steadies.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, ups and steadies are
Just
good.
growing together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out life together.
Yeah, because
Trying
I'm
to figure out
lost, dude.
30s, soon to be 30s together.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a good role model for Janine because I already hit the 30 mark, and she's like, I need to observe this guy and see what I need to do.
not to do.
Not to do, actually. Yeah, when she sees me. Like, so Josh had Red Bull for breakfast. Okay, that's good.
Not that, okay.
Red Bull and Kellogg's.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's where it ends. And here we are. 34 weeks into our podcast, which we launched as well in July or early August.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's been a crazy ride, but
Life
it's been
is really crazy, and I enjoy
Yeah.
every moment of it. But
yeah, and I really, really think that, God really did a good job
By
with
by
his
making
matchmaking
us
skills
on Tinder, yeah.
on Tinder. Thank you, God.
God, it works in mysterious places though. So that's,
Tinder. Yeah, never say no to like Bumble and Tinder and
you
'cause
never
you'll
know,
never know.
guys. You
You'll
never
never
know. Yeah, just take that leap, take that risk in life. You know what? At least you could say you tried.
Yeah. And if you want to know all of the backstory to this, just watch episode 19 and episode 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions or if you want us to do a part 4, but you know the fourth part of any series really sucks. So
Yeah. I think this
So I
is
think
it.
we'll keep it at part 3 unless we
Oops.
have anything else to add into the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to ask us any questions, you can stalk us at Have a Nice Day Podcast. You can send us an email at
Have a nice day show at gmail.com. And like last week's episode, what you can do, and if you want us to answer your questions, you can always send us the email, which I mentioned, at haveanicedayshow at gmail.com, or fill up the form that is there for our handy advice, which you can easily find on our Instagram page in the link in bio. And please do rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Give us a good rating, guys. We really need it. We really want to grow this channel. And you can also listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, you name it, we're there. And
Speaking of growing the podcast.
we have a very special announcement. We're going to be having our first ever guest very, very soon. We're just discussing the logistics of it.
Because they're not based in Dubai.
Don't give more details.
Did I say there? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, but it's a really exciting time for the podcast because we're gonna do this for the first time and have someone else on the podcast.
Also, let us know if there's anyone that you'd like us to interview, because we're there. We're getting towards the interview phase, and we want to bring in more people, because
but
we don't
we're-
want you to get tired of our faces,
No, but
guys.
to be honest, we are gonna be very, very selective of who we have on the podcast because we have that power, guys, and we're
Wow.
gonna abuse it. But no, I'm kidding though. But yeah, just stay tuned. Maybe within the next episode or even the next episode, that said people will be on this show, and you can watch us wherever I said on YouTube, or you can listen to us on any podcast streaming platform. Anything else?
That's it.
So on that note,
Have a nice day. What was that? We love you guys.
we like you as a friend. Bye.
Bye.